by Ajay Nair, news reporter, and Greg Heffer. Political reporter Theresa May has told Donald Trump she is proud of the NHS after the US president triggered yet another diplomatic spat by claiming the UK's healthcare system is going broke and not working. Mr. Trump criticized the NHS on Monday as he targeted his Democrat opponents for pushing for a British-style universal health care system in America. Shortly after, former UKIP leader Nigel Farage spoke about the NHS on Mr. Trump's favored Fox. No thanks. Minutes later, Mr. Trump thanked Fox. But the US president's verdict on the NHS brought a rebuke from both Health Secretary Jeremy Hunt and Downing Street. Mr. Trump's remarks came after demonstrations on Saturday near Downing Street, which saw protesters demanding more money for the NHS. In reference to the march and in reply to Mr. Trump's tweet, Mr. Hunt wrote, "I may disagree with claims made on the march, but not one of them wants to live in a system where 28 meters people have no cover. NHS may have challenges, but I'm proud to be from the country that invented universal coverage, where all get care no matter the size of the bank balance." Number 10 supported Mr. Hunt's retort to the US president, with the Prime Minister's spokesman saying he speaks for the government on these matters. The Prime Minister is proud of having an NHS that is free at the point of delivery. He added, NHS funding is at a record high and was prioritised in the budget with an extra £2.8 billion. In the recent Commonwealth Fund International survey, the NHS was rated the best in the world for a second time. Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn also branded Mr. Trump wrong, posting on Twitter, "People were marching because we love our NHS and hate what the Tories are doing to it. Health care is a human right." Speaking as his party released a report into health care reform in the UK, Liberal Democrat leader Sir Vince Cable said the NHS was not broken but under enormous pressure. He told Sky News, if he wants to understand how the system works in Britain and wants some solutions, he should come and read our report. Mr. Trump obviously doesn't understand the NHS, Sir Vince added. Mr. Farage used his Fox Health service and were providing a lot of health care for people coming into Britain from all over the world, added Mr. Farage, who has been among the UK's strongest supporters of the US president. Mr. Trump and Mrs. May have previously clashed over the US president's promotion of far-right group Britain First on Twitter. The dispute cast fresh doubt on a planned visit to Britain by Mr. Trump, although last month, after the two leaders met at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, it was revealed the US president is expected to make a trip to the UK in the second half of this year. Analysis from Sky News health correspondent Paul Kelso. Donald Trump's tweet manages to conflate bitter debates about health care on both sides of the Atlantic. As far as it is possible to second-guess the presidential mind, he appears to have cited Saturday's march in support of the NHS to support his argument against universal health care in the US, colloquially known as Obamacare. Mr. Trump made repealing Obamacare his first priority on taking office, but delivering on the promise has proved far harder, with a lack of support from Republicans impeding his plans. The NHS is considered the arch-example of what Americans described pejoratively as socialized health care, offering universal free health care in contrast to the privatized, uneven and hugely expensive American model. The president appears to believe the London march was motivated by opposition to the NHS model, saying thousands marched because the universal system is going broke. In fact, it was organized and backed by groups, including the Labour Party, calling for more funding, not less, with many NHS staff among the thousands who attended. The tweet was condemned on all sides and thrown together the strangest of political bedfellows. While Labour's initial response said, "Even Trump knows you can't trust the Tories," Health Secretary Jeremy Hunt, object of much of the anger on Saturday, sided with the marchers against the US president.